Hey there, folks. Time to do some more retro CSS battles. CSS battles from the past, October 11th and October 12th of 2024. Let's get right to it. We're going to turn a paragraph element into this big shape. How do we do it? Let's figure it out. If I do a margin of 0.40, I can probably make that shape. Let's put let's do no background. Let's see what we can do out of that. I want to make the eye shape, so let's do that. 180, and then he's 300 tall to cover the whole body. And then I like, for this purpose, a conic gradient to do the light blue part conic gradient, and that's going to be, well, it's going to be, what are the colors? It's blue to 75% and then transparent. All right, so what am I doing? I'm doing the bottom part, or the middle part of the eye, and then this part of the bottom. So I need to make that repeat and be positioned in the right place. So 0, 0 is the top left corner. I actually want it to be top left corner and then down 40 pixels. And if I do no repeat, then you get to see that. So that's what I've got right now. If I give it a width and a height, so width 100 pixels, height 200 pixels, let's say. Okay, so that's that background. So what do we need to do to push this into place? How about 50 down, great. More width, 150 and 60, and then more height to 30, 40, 50. That's what we have now. By changing the center of that to, let's call it 50%, 80%, you can kind of create that shape, and that looks correct. And now when I let that repeat, I get an eye. Great. How do I do the rest of it? Given this one, I really am feeling box shadow. Like I feel like when I look at this one, I want to do something with the box shadow. I don't know if that's a good idea. It might not be. Let's try what a box shadow looks like. Box shadow minus 100 pixels, 0. And interestingly, even though that's transparent, that box shadow does not show through. That surprises me a little bit. So I'm going to put the color on there so you can see what I was trying to get at. But even though this is transparent here, if I do a background red, you can see, I can see through, but the box shadow can't be visualized. So that's an interesting problem, and I think that that's going to affect what I do here, because I don't think the technique that I was thinking of with this next one is going to work. That's okay. So I'm going to nuke the box shadow, and instead we do a linear gradient, right? Linear gradient. I can go 2 left, so that's from the right, that color, and then the dark blue color. And that's the default you get. If I do a color stop, then you get the hard stops. And that's a perfectly acceptable way to do this particular shape. Yeah, I think I kind of knew, oh, and that's not the right score at all. Oh, because I flopped the colors, of course. Not paying attention. Sorry about that. There we go. If I submit that, in theory, that's a 100% match. Again, you talk too much and you can't see the code you're making. So this is a solution. You can also do 90 degrees right? Just like you can do 45 degrees or all the great things that you can do with a linear gradient, which are so useful for creating interesting designs and interesting effects and non-straight line blocks on a web page. Let's minify, replace, submit. Those are my plugins on GitHub. That's a fun one. I enjoyed that one a lot. All right, next. So, what do we got here? Definitely feeling like let's go with another paragraph tag, and let's make that background green, and then the background of the body that color, and I'm gonna do an so what I want to do is put the margins on here, and then I'm gonna do aspect ratio 1. I'm gonna undo the height and do aspect ratio 1. So that gives me a perfect square, and a perfect square is useful in creating a perfect circle. But aspect ratio is not particularly short kind of code to use. 35, and then 100, 23rd, 122. Okay. So now we got nothing. Let's do height. I don't know what that number is, and I don't care. 1, 2, 1, 4. I do a border radius 50%. There it is. So that background is not that. What I want to do is another conic gradient because, as I've said, it is my favorite of the gradient. Conic gradient from minus 45 degrees. And then the green color, 75%, and then transparent. Oh, and it's not going minus 45. That's like reverse green Pac-Man. How about 90, minus 90? That's the color and shape that I want. So, but what I was planning to do was a box shadow, 0, 100 pixels, and you'll see that it doesn't poke through, and that's disappointing to me. I was hoping that that transparent would allow me to do that thing. So if I can't do that, what will I do? Let's make another one. Kerplunk. So I've got height set, I've got the margin set. If I variabilize this top margin, I do var m, then I can target the second one. I do p plus p and alter the top margin I can do, which is actually the top and bottom, m minus 100. There, he's moving. That's too much. How about minus 90? How about minus 85? There it is. So now I got 2 of them. And even if I rotate him, rotate 180 degrees, like that doesn't cover the whole thing anyway. So what are my choices? Let's variabilize this color. We'll do var C or transparent as a default, and then in the second one, if we set that color to green, we have a solid circle, and that's with just a minimum of things. So the blue is all in the background, and then the green conic gradient circle comes here, and the colors, little color and margin adjustment, and you get that look and feel. Pretty cool. That's it. Minify, replace. Oh, did I submit? I don't think I submitted. Let's make sure we get 100% back from the back end. CSSBattle.dev back end, and that we do, and that's a better score than whatever I've gotten in the past too. So I'm happy with that. This one. Are there other choices for how to do this guy? Yeah, probably. We could actually do that conic gradient. So if I steal this conic gradient right? There's nothing keeping me from doing that just on the body. If I do this here, like that, then I get that eye. And if what if I just repeat it on the y-axis? Well, I guess that doesn't really help me very much, does it? Not really. It does mean that I would need to move this over. Can I reuse this? Maybe. So what would we do? If we nuke that and we do a no repeat. Okay, this helps us see. What did we do? Right, like 100 pixels, 80. There it is. Okay, so what do we need to do? If we do let it repeat, what do we got to do? So we got that. So how about a linear gradient from the side? So I didn't think that I was gonna do this again, but let's do that color, transparent, and then that's 25% across, 0, 75% across, and then the dark blue. Oh, and then 90 degrees is actually what I want to do though. So there, that's kind of interesting. Actually, no, I said 20%, 20 and 80 to do that. But then I need another linear gradient because I got to do what's in here, right? So we have one more linear gradient, and it's kind of the same thing. Plonk, if I paste this in, and then do 50, you get the same thing. So 3 gradients. You get that eye. That's all right. That's fine. Just pieces and parts. Let's minify and replace that guy. I don't think there's any units to replace. There are always more tweaks that one can do with these. You can remove a trailing brace and a trailing semicolon, which is, who cares? I mean, yes, you can. You can do a view width if it's on the width of this item and change it to %. That's nice on in terms of the background size. That's kind of fun. And that's another solution. So that's cool. Continuing to work on December 2024. We're at the last of my backlog. Going forward, at some time in the future, it'll just be the new ones that come out that I do these on. I've been toying with the idea of videos about different ways to each kind of gradient, and a video showing all the different weird stuff you can do with each one, right? Like you watch when I watch back, like all the different weird stuff that I do with a background. Like background has all kinds of different components. What is the thing that's there? So you can use images, right? You can use different kinds of images. You can create linear gradients and conic gradients and radial gradients, and all with background sizes and background positions and different repeat values, and all those things create all kinds of different shapes. And I've been thinking about, what's the tutorial look like for learning to write a conic gradient off the top of your head. Like, let's say you're just trying to make a nice little block on a web page that's got a nice gradient look, kind of a classic app look. Or what if what are you trying to do if you've got a funky design that's got kind of asymmetric? Like, what are your choices? Like, so these are the kind of things I think about. Like, what can I do? As I do more video, and even though video is kind of a pain, which is why the people who do it are like, please like and subscribe and support the channel, because I think it's pretty expensive to do. I'm doing it on the cheap here for fun. So I don't know. That's a discursion, digression, a wandering I'm doing there, which is a lot of fun. Have a great day. Take care of each other, and go make a webpage. It's really cool. All right. Bye-bye.